Hey, I'm Beo and this is Psychedelic Actualization. On this channel we talk about topics like self-realization, self-actualization and working with psychedelics to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. So if you're interested in any of these topics, subscribe to the channel. So today I want to talk about the deceptive nature of our own mind, of our ego and of our imagination, and that we should be aware of that because it can cause great harm to ourselves and to the people around us if we are not aware of it. So I was running a couple of days ago and I've got this insight in my mind while I was running, because while I was running I was kind of in the flow of it, and then when I'm running, kind of my mind and my imagination is free to explore and free to imagine whatever it wants to imagine. And so I got some ideas or images in my head that I felt bad about. Like I was feeling something and I was imagining something about another person being somewhere, and that kind of caused a feeling of envy in me, and I felt bad about it. And I was running further and then I was realizing that, like, wait, this is just a fantasy of my own mind. This is just a fantasy of my imagination that is not real yet. So this is really interesting to be aware of this, because our brain is kind of automatically generating a picture of reality. It is kind of pretending a picture of reality. And our mind is kind of pretending to know something about reality, but it is just like generating this imagery in our head that is just our own fantasy, our own imagination, that has nothing to do with reality, kind of. It's kind of difficult to explain and difficult to understand, but for example, you are running on your trail and your girlfriend is at home. She said she's gonna be at this party, and she's going to that party, and you're like running, following your vision, and you think about her, and you think like, oh, she's with another guy now, or she's there, or she's whatever. Like you imagine another kind of reality that has nothing to do with where she's really at. And that is kind of weird, because then you kind of feel bad about it. You kind of feel envy. And when you take your imagination and your fantasy about a situation for reality, and then you kind of act on this emotion, and then you're kind of harsh or unfriendly to your girlfriend because you thought she was whatever, that can cause a lot of harm. So we should be aware of the deceptive nature of our mind, because it is kind of tricky to be aware of it all the time, because to be conscious of that mechanism of our mind, of that production kind of factory of fake imagery that is kind of creating our image of reality, that is kind of the work we have to do, to cut through the deception and just be in this moment and see reality for what it is. Because this is all we can be aware of right now. Like this room right now, this video right now is all you are aware of. And this is the truth of this moment. This is the truth of the reality. And if you now think about or create an image about your mom being in the hospital and dying right now, then this is a fantasy of your own mind. And now you can be worried about your mom being in the hospital dying right now, but that is not a reality you are aware of right now. This is just a fantasy of your own mind. And you should be aware of that and then kind of detach from that fantasy and see it as it is, a fantasy. And when we can be aware of our fantasies and detach from them, see them as they are, like we can kind of not even judge ourselves for them, but let them come observe them and let them go, because as fast as they come and wherever they come from, sometimes you kind of know this, at least I know this, kind of the craziest fantasies come up in my own mind, like things that are so highly unlikely, and this imagery kind of comes out of nowhere. I hold this image in my mind, and then I try to see it as it is, as this fantasy, and detach from it, and as fast as it comes, it goes again into nothingness again, or wherever it comes from, wherever it goes to, like, but it passes by in our own imagination. And if we attach to that image and attach to the emotion that this fantasy invokes in ourselves, then we can cause a lot of harm and get into a lot of trouble in our own lives. So I can definitely recommend that you should study the mechanisms of your own mind, like learn to know what it is that our ego mind is doing, learn to know how our mind works, learn to know or contemplate in psychedelic experiences, where are thoughts coming from, where is this imagery coming from, and why do we identify with it, and can we detach from it to live a more truthful, honest, and loving life aligned with the truth of love. So, thank you very much for watching. Be aware of the deceptive nature of your own mind, not even with like produced fantasies, but also with interpretations about situations. Like a lot of time we just assume that things are the way they are, even though that is not aligned with truth. Thank you very much for watching. I love you. I will see you in the next one. Namaste.